is on construction project financing, and we've been talking about it for some time now, and we want to see what we can share from our experience at Conceive Engineering. So we'll start by letting you know what you should expect in this presentation. The first point is we are going to tell you about us, what we do at Conceive Engineering, what you need to know about building projects, and then the ways of financing your building project. Then after that, we can have a session where if you have questions, we will answer them. And then we can also have suggestions from you from the last part of the presentation. So who we are, basically, we are a construction company. We are located in Accra. We take various construction projects and then we work on it. Our vision is to become an outstanding company in Ghana, and our mission is to become the #1 construction and infrastructure development company in Ghana. So we want to, as a matter of some few years to come, to be a household name in Ghana. Our values that we work with at Conceive Engineering is transparency. We do quality work, quality control. We have innovative approach to solving problems on site, teamwork, and then we ensure integrity in all that we do at Conceive Engineering. So these are some of the things that we do at Conceive Engineering. Civil works and construction, building design and construction. We also do road construction, project management. Maybe you have people to work on the project for you, but due to time constraint, you can't be on site and all that. We can manage the project for you, which includes supervision as well. We do renovations, concrete floor designs, laying of pavement blocks and slabs, electrical works, plumbing works, painting, and tiling. Now, there are some few things that you need to know about construction projects. You see, when you walk around town, you encounter a lot of uncompleted buildings all around. It's because we have certain things that we need to know about construction, certain actions that we need to take about construction that we don't. That's the reason why we see all those uncompleted projects around. The first thing that you need, the fact about building projects is building is capital intensive. If you know someone that has built or started a project, the person will definitely tell you how the project is draining him. So in quote, draining. People often use that word, that this project is draining me. All my money is going into the project and all that. So one thing about construction project is it is capital intensive, and it is time consuming as well. You know, before you start a project, getting materials, getting people to come and work, being on the site for the work to be done and all that. If you are employed in an organization, you wouldn't have that time to be on the project. And also, size of building goes a long way to determine the cost of the building. So maybe if I am building, let's say a 1-bedroom house, and another person too is building a 2 or 3-bedroom house, you don't expect the cost to be the same. So even though we know that construction projects are capital intensive, it is actually dependent on the size of your building. And also, one factor that you need to know about construction is you need to budget with contingencies. Maybe you have an estimate to build, let's say, a 1-bedroom house, and then the cost has been given to you to be 10 cedis. You don't expect to spend just 10 cedi on the project. You need to make room for allowances, price increase, labor charges, increment, and all that. So we need to always budget with contingencies. And then one thing that we also need to know about construction is once funds are spent, they are not refundable. Once you've bought blocks, you can't send a block back to the supplier to take your money back. Or you bought sand, cement, chippings, water, and all that. You've done excavation, you've paid labor, you've mixed concrete, pour it in the foundation. That money will not come back again. So before you put money in a construction project, you should know that the funds that you are putting in there is not funds that will be refunded back to you again. And then we need to also define the motive of the building you are about to work on. Maybe it is your first project, the first house you want to build, and looking at your finances, and you know, okay, at this moment, I will do with a single room. At this moment, I can do with a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom. So your motive for the building is very necessary because that will help you to complete the project on time. So let's look at some factors that influence the cost of construction. There are a lot of factors, but we'll look at just a few of them that are essential. The first one is the size of the building, which I just spoke about. The size of the building determines the cost of the building. And then the method of construction. The method of construction. There are a lot of ways that people go about building. As currently in Ghana, we don't have a legislation. I know there's a legislation in Parliament currently, which has not been fully passed. So in Ghana, you realize that someone with some money can decide to call a mason to come and work on a project for him. Now, if you engage a contractor or you engage an individual, an artisan, there are all different methods of doing going about your construction. So one thing that determines the cost of the construction is the method. For instance, if you are using a contractor will be able to give you the total cost of the project, then you can budget accordingly. If you decide to use an artisan, like a lot of people do, we sometimes at Concept Engineering Limited give estimates to people, and the feedback was they are getting a cheaper option because somebody wants the job. So because I want the job, I will let you know that, oh, this project, knowing very well, is going to cost you, let's say, 100,000 cedis. Because I want that job, I can say, oh, this project, looking at it, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 3-bedroom, you can use 40,000 cedis to do it. Then you start. Somewhere along the line, you get stuck. Now, if an individual or an artisan is also, you decide to use that method, the artisan may charge you less labor, which we have. There are cases that some clients came back to give us their findings and all that. Now, somebody may decide to charge very little labor. You buy material. Because you don't have time to be on the site, your materials will be used to substitute for labor, who may decide to just use your materials to sell in order to make up for the low labor that the person is charging. But if you are using a contractor, for instance, the contractor has given you a bill of quantity. So you know that at the end of the contractor's span, this is what you're expecting. Maybe he has charged you 100,000 cedis. You don't really care what is going into material, what is going to labor. Your preoccupation is to get your building at the end of the day. So method of construction also influence the cost of the project. And also another thing that influence the cost of your project will be the facilities that you are having in the building that you've designed. For instance, if I'm building, let's say, a 2-bedroom house, I may decide, okay, I have 2 of the bedrooms, I have a living area, and I have a kitchen. That's it. Another person too may decide that, okay, I have the 2-bedroom, I need a hall, a living area, I need a visitor's washroom. That will determine another cost. Yet still, somebody will want to add something like a utility area. Somebody may want to add an office. Somebody may want to add a library and all that. So all these things increases the costs of the project. So the facilities that you have in there. Then the type of finishing that you decide to go with. You know, after the main structure has been put up, you will need to plaster it. You are going to do tiling, you are going to do painting, you are going to do your ceiling. So let's look at tiling, for instance. Maybe somebody wants an Italian tiles, another wants a Spanish tiles, another also will do with a Chinese tiles. So if I am using a Spanish tiles and you are using, let's say, an Italian tiles, and another is also using a Chinese tile, you don't expect our cost of construction or the project cost to be the same. They will be very different. For instance, let's look at ceiling. Somebody may want to go with POP ceiling. Another may want to go with plasterboard. Another may want to go with TNG. So you say that if I use TNG, my cost of doing my ceiling will be less. Now, if I also decide to go with POP, it will increase the cost. It will not be the same as somebody that is using the plasterboard or the plywood or the TNG. So depending on how you are finishing the house. And you talk of painting, somebody may decide to do skimming. The person will go and buy home charm. There are people who love to have their walls very smooth. So after the plastering and everything has been done, you go in for home charm to skim all the walls. In that case, when you paint, it becomes very smooth. So doing that skimming increases the cost of the build. Somebody may want to have a paint, a particular type of paint that when, let's say, kids play around, they write on it, you just use water to clean it and it come back to the original state. It will increase the costs. Now, let's say you get to the fixtures. Let's say you are going to buy your sockets. We have different types of sockets. Some you get to the market, you can get it for 30 cedis. Yet so we have others that you can get for 180 cedis, 200 cedis, depending on the brand and then the quality that you are buying. We talk of plumbing. We are going to do a story building, for instance. It won't be advisable to use the normal plumbing pipes, but someone may decide to go ahead to use the normal plumbing pipes because the normal plumbing pipe is less expensive. For instance, when you take a span of the plumbing pipes, you will get it 30 cedis for one pipe to, let's say, 35, let's say maximum 40 cedis. Yet still we have what we call the pressure pipes. Another person will want to go for the pressure pipes because the person does not want to have issues with leakage. Now, the pressure pipe, you get it from 180 cedis to 200 cedis for one. So you can see that there is a huge difference in cost for buying the same material based on the type of stuff that you are selecting. So all these things goes a long way to affect the cost of your project. Now, the first strategy that we will look at for financing your project will be the personal financing. The personal financing. Now, when we talk about the personal financing, this is actually what we'll be talking about. Okay, so we'll move to the other ones, then we get back to this one again. So that means that you are going to use money from your personal savings And also, maybe if you are a married person, both couple could come together jointly. They put up a building that they are comfortable with. Then we have what is called the group financing. Maybe you are, let's say, 10 different people, 5 different people coming together that you want to undertake a project. So you are doing it together in bulk. This is advantageous because if you are going to buy materials, you are going to buy it at wholesale prices because you are going to have a purchasing power. If maybe, let's say, 10 people come together and they are buying, let's say, cements. Let's say if you are going to buy just one. But maybe if you go to Gasem to buy one cement, they won't sell it to you. I'm just using one as an example, okay? Now, if, let's say, a group of 10 people, they are buying 10 cement and they get to Gasem to buy it at wholesale price, you need to buy at least 5. So if you're a group join together, you could also finance your building project. Then what we'll look at is mortgage financing. Mortgage financing. So with the mortgage financing, we have a case whereby you go to mortgage banks to buy a house for you or build a house for you. They have the purchase, the home purchase plans. They have the home completion plans, and then they have the home construction plans. So we did a bit of research. Then we noticed you could go to First National Bank for mortgage financing. You could also go to Absa Bank. You could go to Republic Bank, and also you could go to Car Bank. There are other banks and other institutions that provide mortgage financing. But I see one thing about the mortgage financing is that the mortgage company is going to finance 85%. That's the maximum they could finance for you. So it means that you should have at least 15% of the cash available in order to go onto this particular package. Then you need to do the repayment for over a period of time. Depending on your cash flow, you could do it 10 years, 15 years, 20 years maximum for mortgage financing. Now, one interesting thing about mortgage financing is that you are faced with eviction once you default. If a particular payment is due for over some time and you are not making payments, the mortgage facility may decide to evict you from the property. And also your affordability. Will you be able to afford the mortgage that you are going in for? Assuming a house is 150,000 cedis, will you be, will your salary be able to give you that affordability that you can be able to pay the money as they are requiring? Now, for instance, some of the mortgage banks will take 40% of your salary every month. And when they do that 40% calculation, will you qualify for the mortgage facility? That's what we mean by affordability. Then I've already spoken about this one. The debt burden should not be more than 40 to 45% of your net income. So you look at your salary and then the amount of money that will be deducted every month for over a period of 10 to 20 years. Some time back, Conceive Engineering wanted to do a project where we went to some of these banks to see if they could finance it. And we acquired about 10 acres of land for this particular project, but the project couldn't come on because when we went to the bank, they calculated the affordability of the people that want the project. They realized that the people could not meet the affordability criteria because sometimes when they do the calculation, you are required to pay 2,000 cedis every month. So you look at your salary, will you be able to afford that? And they are looking at taking maximum of 45% of your salary, which means that your monthly net income, that's your take-home pay, should not be less than 5,000 cedis for you to be able to enroll on this package. So we were not able to do that project, and then we ended up selling the land out. Now, the other strategy is the credit financing. The credit financing. So this is a loan that you can take from a bank to use to build your house, or from an individual. Now, the advantage and disadvantage about going with the credit financing is you will not be able to get the complete amount from the bank to construct your project. So maybe when the bank calculated your affordability, the loan that you can afford is, say, 50,000 cedis, and they give you the 50,000 cedis. That 50,000 goes into foundation. By the time, maybe let's say you take 5 years to pay that money, then it means that your project is lying down. Note, you are paying the money with interest. So you should know that if you go for the loan, you will not be able to use it to build the house and move in. So if you are thinking of using the credit financing, what we advise at Concept Engineering Limited is you take the loan, but you build something that you can move in. Once you are in, then with time, you are building your main house. Building your main house. So when we started the presentation, we talked about motive of building the house. Is it a first house? Is it a dream house that you want to build, and all that? And also, people can actually get a loan from individuals. If you are well connected, you have very good friends that's very well to do. They could help you to also build and then pay them with time. So we will go back and I will show you the calculation that was done for us when we were going for the mortgage facility that we couldn't afford at that time, since the affordability of our clients were not able to meet the bank criteria. I will show it so that you look at how the calculation is. Then we also go on maybe an EcoBank website. They also deal in mortgage. Then we'll see the calculation. Maybe during the question and answer time, we can do that. So what we want to talk about now, in a few minutes, I will be done, is personal financing. If you want to finance the project yourself. Want to finance the project yourself, first, you need to have a source of income. Your source of income, is it only salary? Do you have other ways that you get money within the month? These are what we are talking about when I talk about source of income. So you have to get a particular source that you want to get your money from. Now, there are a lot of things that one can do to be able to make money, okay, not to only depend on an income. Assuming you are employed, you work 8 to 5 every day. You can do other side stuffs like commission stuffs, or you are able to take a small loan from your workplace or your bank. You can use it to set up a small business in order to be getting some funds from that business to supplement the money that you push into the project from your salary. So you need different sources of income to be able to finance a building project, because from the beginning, we mentioned that the very first point that we mentioned was building is capital intensive. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to acquire the land. If you want to personally finance your project, you have to first acquire the land. And in acquiring the land, make sure you go in for a land that you can afford. Make sure the land you are going in for is litigation free, because you are going to use your personal savings or your other sources of income, the money that you've gathered over a period of time to acquire the land. So make sure that the land you are going for is genuine. Take your time, do all your due diligence before you put in your money. At Concept Engineering, we've partnered with an estate company, Nordic Estate Limited, where we sell land. So what we tell our clients is that if you want to buy land, don't rush it. In fact, assuming you're able to acquire the land, and building on it will not be done overnight. You are going to build with time, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years. Some buildings span over 10-year period. So the first process, which is the land acquisition stage, take your time, do all the due diligence, go to lands commission, conduct a search on the land, go to the area where you want to buy the land, talk to the people around, as many as you can. At least that's what we do at Consumer Engineering together with Nordic Estate Limited. That's why all the land that we have been selling, we are not having issue. Make sure you do all the due diligence before you put in your money to acquire the land. Now, if you are going to finance the project yourself, make sure that you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, you build a first house. A first house could be a chamber and hall or a single room. Now, a lot of people or a lot of us in Accra, the buildings that we are renting, where you are renting currently, assuming you are not staying, maybe let's say your father's house or your mother's house, or you are not currently in your house yet, you notice that where you have rented, you have a chamber and hall. Majority of people are in chamber and hall in Accra. Majority of people are in single rooms. Even some of them have the washroom outside. Some of them are compound house and all that. So if you want to build your own house and you know that you check your finances, you will not be able to build a 5-bedroom house, 6-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. Go with something simple that you can afford. Then once you move in, maybe let's say you have a 1 plot of land, you build a chamber and hall behind it, then you start building the main house gradually. Once you are done, you can use the chamber and hall, the single room that you build behind the house, as a boys' quarters. A lot of houses have boys' quarters, so you can use that one as a boys' quarters. Now, you need to budget and design. Most often than not, when someone comes to us that, oh, I want a 3-bedroom design, I want a 4-bedroom design, we ask the individual, what is your budget? Now, the budget we are asking for, it doesn't mean that that's what we are going to use to build the house. In fact, if you want to design, have a budget in mind. Let's say I'm looking at spending 100,000 cedis on this project. I'm looking at spending 200,000 cedis on this project. So you make us aware, or you make the architect that you are going to engage aware. Now, there is a way that the architect will be able to design to meet your budget. If you tell me that your budget for a project is, let's say, 300,000 cedis, like the picture you can see in the slide, you want the building to get to this stage, but your budget is 300,000 cedis. Once we have that budget, we'll be able to design to meet it. Maybe you may not get a huge building, you may get a small building. Then when you look at the design, oh, okay, so if my budget is 300,000 and this is what I'm getting, you can increase it to, let's say, 350,000. You can increase it to 400,000. Then you get what you want. So make sure you have a budget in mind, and make sure you have a design before you start any project that you want to undertake. After the project, you need to engage a quantity surveyor to estimate the cost of the building for you. At Consumer Engineering Limited, whenever we do a design for a client, we always make sure we give you an estimation so that you know how much you are going to spend on the particular project, then you can plan accordingly. Another thing is planning. So after you have your design and then you have your land, you have your cost estimation, you need to plan. You need to decide, this building I want to do, how many years am I looking at? Can I afford it? Looking at my salary, looking at my inflows. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, looking at my inflows. Will I be able to afford it? Then you plan how many years, how many months. In fact, as we've done projects for people, within a very huge project, within 6 months, 2-story, the person is done, everything. Once you have the money, you can plan accordingly, but make sure you don't start the project without planning. Then selection of a contractor. This is one of the most important stages that you need to go through if you are financing your project. Okay, you need to select a contractor. Either you are going to get engage artisans, or you are going to give it to a contractor. If you are giving it to a contractor, you need to sit down with the contractor and plan. Now, you also need to do a little background search on the particular contractor you are going to use. You may want to see the projects that they have done to be sure or aware that whatever you want to be done, they will be able to do it for you. So other than that, you may start something that you will not be able to finish. You can also check this contractor I'm going to use, this particular company, are they registered? Are they registered? Can they do the job? What are their track record and all that? Just like the way government does stuff, they don't go in and select a contractor, they put it around. Different people will bring you an estimate. Then from there, you can decide that I'm going to use this particular contractor because you've seen their track record, you know what they can do and all that. And also, if you are financing your project, you need to sit down with a person that is going to do the project for you. At that time, you've done your planning, so you know the number of years you are going to run the project. Then you plan, you take it stage by stage. So we call it stage by stage construction. Thank you very much. We will ask for questions and answers. But before the question and answers, I promise showing you the mortgage calculation. Then we quickly look at okay, for the EcoBank one, maybe if a question comes, maybe I want to buy a house and it costs this much, we can look at how much you are going to pay monthly and then how much you are going to pay at the end of the year. Okay, so this is what we have. I want to believe that you can still see my screen. So this is what we have. So for a 2-bedroom house, we did this in 2018. For a 2-bedroom house, the cost for building the 2-bedroom house for you to move in as of 2018 was 150,000 cedis. And then the cost for 3-bedroom house was 200,000 cedis. 200,000 cedis. Now, the mortgage facility that we were going for, they were asking that you make 37,500 cedis. I think this is about 20% of the total cost of the building. Now, when you make this money available, the mortgage company tops up for us to get this 150,000 cedis and construct the project for you. Now, you are going to pay 2,360.49 every month for 20 years. So a simple calculation. Let's look at a simple calculation. The cost of the building is 150,000 cedis, assuming you have the money. Now you are going to pay 2,360.49 for a period of 20 years. Now 20 years has 240 months. So you multiply this by 240. So you are going to pay 566,517.6 cedis at the end of the 20-year period. So something that could have cost you 150,000 cedis, you are going to use about 660,000. That's what you are going to pay by the time you finish servicing the loan. So if it is 200,000, you see, you need to pay 3,147. Now you ask yourself, if my monthly salary is 3,000 cedis, and then they cannot take more than 45% monthly, you know, the mortgage is not an option. So we couldn't do that project because most of the client we're targeting could not meet the mortgage facility, the affordability. So thank you very much. I will stop sharing now. Then we can have question and answer. So if you want to ask a question, you just unmute, then you ask the question, then we see if you can answer. If you will not be able to answer, we will definitely provide the answer later. Also, all that we have done now, we will upload it on our YouTube channel. That is if my recording works, so that you can take your time and then go through all that you've done. I saw some people join as the meeting is going on. So you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you go to YouTube, you just type Concept Engineering Limited. You open any of our videos, you could just see the subscribe button and then subscribe. So we are waiting for questions, if there is any. Thank you.
Hello, thank you too.
You're welcome.
Yeah, please, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for your submission. I wanted to ask about the figures you gave. So 2-bedroom house with you guys is 150,000. So if you want to build a 2-bedroom house, does that mean if you put in 150,000, you get the facility?
Yes.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay, so that's right. So we had a design. We had a design that we cost estimate to be the 150,000. That design is available, so we can, yes. So let's say with our design that we have, you can build it at that amount.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Samuel.
Okay.
Thank you for your submission too.
You're welcome.
My question is, I'm not in Accra. I'm in Sunyani.
Okay.
I want to know whether you do external services. Assuming I have my budget ready and I would like to engage your services. Is that possible? That is my first question.
Okay. That is very possible.
Okay. Then the second question is, there are some of us who cannot finance the project outright. What I mean is provide all the money for the budget. Maybe we can provide some and then build it up to a certain stage. Then later on, we would like to continue. But the later on may mean maybe 1 or 2 years will pass before we can be able to continue. So if you want to engage your services and we are not prepared, I mean fully prepared in that order to have a
Okay, please, are you done? Okay, so I believe the question is if the funds are not available at once, but you have some that you can start with, we will be able to do. Yes, there are projects that we've started.
How are you going to assist us?
Okay, so there are projects that we've started in 2015, and as at now, we are not done yet because the client is building stage by stage. So as and when he gathers the money, then he comes around and we work. So we can do that. It's an arrangement. That's why you need to sit, and so we just plan with you. Then we know what you want, how long you want to do the project. Then we know the labor to charge due to the so maybe we can decide, let's say this is foundation, so you need to buy these materials, this is the labor, so you have the money available for the foundation, and we do it. Later you maybe let's say in 6 months time you have money to raise it to lentil level, we do that service. Please, have I answered?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Chris again.
Okay, and please, a moment before your question, okay? The lady that asked for the 2-bedroom. So this is how the 2-bedroom looks like. You have your entrance terrace, we have the living area, the dining area, then we have a kitchen. The kitchen comes with a store. Then we have a washroom here, and then another washroom here. So we have a bath and a toilet. Okay, then we have 1 bedroom here. Then we have another bedroom which has its own washroom. The reason why we have the bathroom separate from the toilet is if we have a visitor, the visitor can comfortably use the WC area. All right, thank you. So please, Mr. Kwesi, you can ask your question.
Okay, what I wanted to ask is about the building you just showed. I'm interested, but
Okay.
is there any way you can help?
Okay, you are interested in the 2-bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. If you talk about help, I don't get it.
As in spreading the money in a way that will meet your targets, as in the affordability. Because my pay is not even, the net is not up to the 2003 there. So is there a way that you can expand it?
Okay, so
I don't know whether you are getting me. So
yes,
that the 2000, if it is to be taken for 1 year, it can be increased to, let's say, 4 or 10 years.
Okay, I get the question. So that 2,000 cedis is something that you are paying for over 20 years.
Yes.
So if you want to reduce it, that means you are going to pay over 40 years.
Hey.
How
much do I even have left?
So which you realize that the mortgage companies will not extend more than 20 years.
Hey.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Hello.
Hi.
So, hello, are you there? And so, in your submission, you mentioned that 2-bedroom as at 2018 cost that 150,000. I want to know, currently in 2021, is it still at that same cost of 150,000 for the 2-bedroom, or it has increased? So that when we are engaging, we know what we are even coming for in the first place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In fact, in 2020, we've not run an estimate of it again. But, you know, even in 2018, someone built the same 2-bedroom for about 200,000. And another built it for about, I think, 98,000 cedis. During the submission, you see, we discussed the factors that influence the cost of construction. Someone decided to use plywood for the ceiling, and it reduced the cost. The person didn't do tiling. The person just went with the normal script. And then the type of paint, the person didn't do skimming. And then, you know, all these things go ahead to affect the cost. So, in fact, that 150,000 can still stand depending on what you want. So when we sit down, so what we did is at 2018 was for plasterboard ceiling. So maybe if we estimate now, it may go up a bit, but the difference will not be won't be much. You may be hovering around the same figure.
Okay, thank you for this. So I would like to know the kind of finishing or materials here maybe designed to use the POP or the plywood or the TNG. Does it affect the quality of the building, or is just for aesthetics?
It's aesthetics.
Okay, Okay, not the quality in
No,
any way.
not the functionality at all.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, okay, go on.
It was just an add-on, because if we could even see a more graphical one, this was more of the plan. If you could see a more graphical one, how the building looks
Look like that. Okay.
We could also appreciate it.
Okay, I thought I shared something. Let me look for it again. So we have okay, so this is how it looks like.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like this. So what we did was that the roofing at the top, we slope it towards one side to reduce the cost of the roofing. And then the wood that you are going to buy and all that, so we reduce it so that the cost will come down. So this is how it looks like actually.
Okay. And is it built in a way whereby it can be expanded? Maybe you build a 2-bedroom, later I want to make it a 3-bedroom. Is it expandable in that form, or is it a fixed kind of thing?
Well, this one is not expandable.
Okay.
Okay, so any other question?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, my name is Gilbert.
Okay.
I want to know whether your designs are disabled friendly for a home. So sometimes you build, and then old age, maybe your parents have to stay with you, but there are mobility issues, and so are your buildings, your designs, are they disabled friendly? Or during the so by you just answer me that way, I think that will be fine.
Okay. So it depends on the client. So the clients who that's why during the design stage you need to state all that you want to be done. I quite remember there's a project we were doing at East Legon, and then we decide that we want to do 2 types of stairs that will enter the house, like the steps. Okay, one will just be flat where you can easily push a wheelchair over, but the client declined. That's it means we are assuming he will be crippled very soon. That's why we want to put it there. So it really depends on you. If you want it to be included, we do. But if you don't want it, we can't force it on you. So it's client discretion.
Okay, and does it affect costs in any
way?
No.
It won't affect costs in any way.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so please, I want to know for that 2-bedroom that you showed us, and at that price, can you tell us what kind of finishing were used, like the tiling, the hidden roof? If you can just describe all this, whether it's a POP, so that we can still appreciate it.
Okay. I used to have the bill. But like I don't know if I will be able to get it now. But let me look. Let me look for it. Let me quickly look for it. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Okay. So,
yes, we can see.
So with this, we are having rendering. It's like I mentioned, it's plasterboard ceiling. Plasterboard. So you can see from the highlighted section. It's plasterboard. So you do the windows, the window glazing, burglar proof, and all that. And then we are fixing an AC switch, the switches, the socket, lamp holders, ceiling fan complete, and all that. Then you even end up fixing bulbs. And then you have, let's say in the plumbing aspect, the WC, will be fixed. You see the WC in the house is 2, one in the master bedroom and then one at the other side. Then you have a 2 wash and basin, the bath with each accessory, towel reel, soap dish, mirror, double bowl, kitchen sink, and tap, and all that. So we actually have a detail. You know, when we did, we had a detail bill of everything. So it's plasterboard per our estimate.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is John.
Okay.
Yes, I have a lot of questions. Let's say 3 for now.
Okay.
Yes, in your submissions, I realized you were talking about your bill. Basically, your submission was about let me say mortgage, or let me say a home for, like, right, you are building a house for yourself, but then you didn't consider maybe commercial or something. So then I'll come to the commercial aspect, because I found a plan. I was scrolling through one of my pages and I found a plan. And then in the plan, I didn't know whether the house was, or let me say that there was a commercial facility, let me say an event center.
Okay.
It was a story, like a 1-story. But then the way it was modeled, I didn't know whether it was basically, because it was let me say a glass house.
Okay.
So I didn't know whether it was metal or block, because let me say about 80% of the whole building was made of glass.
Okay.
But then I was wondering if it was metal, if the metals were used for the pillars, could you have a story like another floor on top of the metal, and it would be of the same strength as the block work, or there would be some sort of discrepancies? That's my first question. Then
Okay,
my second question.
A moment. So with that particular one, it would depend on the design. If the design takes into account that there will be a building on top of it, then you don't have an issue. So it's a design issue. Once that's been designed for, it will pick it. But if it is not designed for, we need to check it to be able to know if it will take it or not.
Okay. All right, very well. And then in your submissions, you made an assertion that if you budget for a building, say let's say 100,000 for a project, you shouldn't expect to use the same 100%. I didn't know, but then I don't think I got. Maybe you said, but then maybe I didn't get. To what percentage should you create a contingency? Like, say 10% of the whole project should be like your contingency in case of anything, or like I didn't really get a specific percentage.
Okay,
Yes.
so what happens is you may have a 5% contingency. 5% should work if maybe the project will not take too long to complete. Let's say the project will be complete within 1 to 2 years. You could use 5% contingency. But if it is going to 3 years, you could use 10%, because prices may change. Fuel prices may go up, food prices may go up, and then the labor, once those things go up, labor charges also go up.
Exactly.
So you have that one there. Now, in fact, you may have a budget of 100,000 and end up spending 80,000.
Okay.
So at Concept Engineering, if we charge you of a full contract, we always add a contingency. Now that contingency is not money for us. Before you pay out that contingency, we will be able to prove why we need that contingency. Maybe by the time I charge for it, cement is 42 cedis, but along the way, cement price has gone to 45 cedis. That one, it is something I can easily prove. It's something we can all see. Or during the course of the work, you decide to make a change. Okay, break this wall, put a new wall here, create a washroom here. You get that point. Then maybe I can see, okay, so when I did this, this is the cost. If it is not more than the contingency I've charged, then you pay me. If it is more, then, we will agree to it before you pay. So the contingency in contract is not directly for the contractor. The contractor has to prove why the client needs to pay for it.
Okay, very well understood. Then a friend of mine, or let me say a colleague, I heard someone asking, the guy from Sunyani.
Okay.
Yes. I believe the prices on the market may differ depending on your location.
Yes.
Yes. So the price of cement in Accra might be different from the price of cement in Sunyani.
Okay.
So in that case, will your agency, or let me say your firm, take into consideration the area, or let me say the location at which the place, the particular project is to be carried out?
Yes, we do that. So we do a market survey. So if I'm doing a project, let's say in Tamale, I will call my guy in Tamale to find out prices of cement, prices of sand, and all that. There are some places they are very cheap. Let me give you an example. We're doing a project in the Volta region, in specifically Adaklu. Now, when we go to Adaklu, and then we need to buy chippings, stones for the job, we noticed our budget was 1,800, because in Accra, 1,600 to 1,800, you could buy one trip of chippings. But when we got there, we realized we need 3,700 cedis in order to buy one trip. The reason is they were not having a quarry close by, so they are coming from far away. So we take those stuffs into consideration before price.
Okay. So then my final question, with the roof you were talking about, the 2-bedroom house, you gave a scenario that you had to slope the roof to allow for cost, like to reduce cost. Yes. There is a similar project, or let me say an old building close by, and they also had the roof tilted, just like you said. But then along the years, it has really developed a lot of, let me say, holes, and now the roof is leaking. According to the person who came to check, he was of the view that because the slope was inclined, and the inclination was not really high, when it rains, a lot of the rains cause that leakage. And so he advised that we raise the roof so that once it rains, the rains can easily just flow and go off. Yes. So when you said something about that, about the roof, I wanted to find out, is it really advisable, considering long term, to have that simple slanted or inclined roof, or to have a very long lifespan of the roof, the normal raising of the roof would do?
Okay, so here we are looking at the cost actually. So maybe if you want to do the normal roof, you need to put in a lot of wood, and you need to get a quality roofing sheet and all that. But here it's a first house. So what you do is that you make sure you have enough slope so that when it rains, the water falls off easily. So that is why most of the times when we do a design for someone, we advise that, please, if you know you are not going to give the contract to us, you can also engage our services for project management and supervision, where you supervise, because in the design there is a slope that you need to get so that you don't have those leakage issues. like we did a design for someone, we provided an estimate, but the job didn't come. Yesterday, I was called to go, I don't know, they were having issues, so they called. I didn't even know they started the project. It's a story building. Then you realize that they have raised the building to lintel level, and then they did a lintel, a beam on everything before they put block work, and then they are starting the flow on it. But you don't need story building, you don't need to do a lintel. You raise the blocks up, then you put, so the flow will have its own beams. You get it?
Yes. Yes.
So once if you want to build, you just you can get a civil engineer, an architect to once in a while come around, or you give the supervision job to the person to do for you. We have some clients like that. If, let's say, I'm supervising the project for you, what we do is that if a contractor gives you a price, in fact, I will give you a price before you consider what someone will give you. That's if you're not engaging our services. So it's like we are like a consultant to you.
Okay.
So you need supervision. So once we have this to look, we are good to go.
Okay. All right. So my final question would be, which one is the best? Having a building or a roof with parapet, or going with the normal ones where you slope and then you roof? The parapet, does it help? Because I've heard people complaining that with the parapet, as time goes on, it also begins to absorb water and then start leaking.
Okay, it's very true. In fact, my concept engineer, our very first project that we did, the hidden roof, we had issues with it. But from there, we've learned a new technique of doing it. For instance, you see, when you look at the hidden roof, there is a gutter that is at the top where you cast concrete, you lay blocks both sides, or you do concrete both sides. So when the water from the roofing sheet will fall in the gutter before it finds its way through the pipes. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So we're having issues. So we need to research, find ways and means to do it. Then it dawned on us that instead of allowing the water to fall in the gutter before going through the pipes, why don't we do a rain gutter? So when you roof, the roofing sheet, you do a rain gutter, you connect the pipes from the roofing sheet directly into the pipe that is coming from the ground.
Okay.
The water does not find its way on that concrete slab.
Okay.
It's only very few water that will be there. So even if it doesn't find its way, it will just dry off.
Okay.
So of course, some of these things, they come with experience. That's why I was saying from the beginning that you need to know what the particular contractor you are using have done before. Once you start something new, you make mistakes, but along the way, you keep finding new ways to improve upon them. So if you know how to do it and you do it well, you will not have any issue.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. All right.
Please, do you have any? If you don't have any other question, then we can end it so that we'll go enjoy.
Last question.
Okay.
Sorry. Malik told me, I just came back. One person was asking the question and it brought my mind to, is it cost effective to do having 80% or a majority of the structure of the building being all glass? Would that reduce the cost of the building? And is it even advisable in terms of the structural integrity of such a building?
Okay, thank you. Really, the glass option and all that, it doesn't affect the structural integrity of the building. What hold building are the beams and then the columns. So the block work that you see is just division of the rooms. It is not supporting the building in any way. That is why if you go to the European countries, they have this plasterboard that we are now using for ceiling. They use it to do room division. So you see that they don't like to be used to just one way of doing things. So what they do is that if he's in the house over time, he may decide to change the arrangement of the rooms by just removing the plaster board and then shifting it. If you've observed, moving around town, you see there are some construction projects that they'll do the foundation, they raise the pillar, then they flow the top, they raise another pillar, they flow everything before they decide to divide them with aluku bond or glass or blockworks. So that one you can do it perfectly and cut down costs, but not much, because the glass may even be expensive than the blockwork that would divide them.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And I would like to know, in the building process, the type of cement that you use, does it affect the quality of the building, or all the cement on the market are okay?
Oh, thank you very much for this question. It's a very good one. You see, all the cement, okay, they are processed in the manufacturing way is the same raw materials that they use. It is branding. So it's just branding. So they are all good. You take Dangote, you take Gasem, you take Diamond, they are the same. The difference lies in, you see, when you take cement back, look at it closely. You see one has 32.5 R and another has 42.5 R. Either R or N, if you've seen something like that. So that's what makes the difference. So most often than not, when people are going to buy cement, they tell you, okay, this one is how do I call it? 40 cedis, this is 45 cedis. You would naturally want to go with the 40 cedis one. Now, the one with the 42.5 R is what is used for concrete works. And then the 32.5 R is what is used for block work, plastering, screeding, and all that. So that's the difference. But a lot of people don't know the difference. So when you go, cement is cement. In fact, when Dangote came, people thought Dangote cement was the best because it dries faster. So we have rapid hardening cement. For instance, if I'm working at a waterlogged area, I want my concrete to harden quickly. So I would prefer going in for rapid hardening cement. So Dangote flood the market with cement that when you mix your concrete, it can easily dry up, and a lot of people were going for it. You get it, but it's the same. Gasem also have the rapid hardening cement. I don't know of Diamond and the rest. I know of CIMAF having the two different ones. But the difference in cement really is the grading. Either you are using the 42.5 R or the 32.5. Just make sure you get the one for the concrete and then the one for the blockworks. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Please, let me add up to this one. Please, I don't know technically how you people call it anyway, because I'm a layman in your field. The brick that they use, the red ones, as compared to the blocks that I do, okay, which one of them will you prefer for building? Because we have those ones seem to be cheaper, the brick ones, the red ones. But people sometimes say it's not better in terms of using it for building as compared to using the blocks we all know. So which one will you advise?
What is affordability and what one is comfortable with, but you don't have issue with any of them. In fact, if I go to my village, when I was very young, let's say some 20-something or 30-something years ago, the mud that they used to build, those mud houses, it's still standing and it is still being used. So it's really, cost of building is really affordability and luxury. If you use the bricks, for instance, you are not going to really spend much on electricity because almost all the time the inside is cool. It's really wonderful. If outside is cold, the inside is warm. If the inside is if the weather is hot outside, you come in, it's cool. It's really wonderful. But people just want, I want the blocks work, so you can do any of them. They are all good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, my final question. Most of the buildings that we see, if you could realize that the down parts or the lower parts of the building, it is soaked with water and it is moldy. Is it because of the area? Is it because of the sun, or is it because of the construction work? How can it be mitigated in the course of building? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wow, I like the questions come, even though they are not part of the presentation. We'll be taking all those stuffs and then present on them with time, one after the other. We will work on them. But let me quickly answer. All the factors you mentioned are right. They all contribute to it. Now, if you have a waterlogged area, you should expect to see the damp in the rooms. So during the construction stage, the foundation stage, that is when you treat it. So you realize that you see people putting that black rubber, the DPM, down before they cast the concrete. Now, I don't want to say that it's not good because it's what somebody can afford. There are different ways of doing it. Maybe if for the project that we have done and the areas are waterlogged, what we do is that when we finish the excavation, we put the DPM, and we don't use the black and rubber DPM. They are really good and thick ones. You have the 1,000 micron, the 500 micron, and all that. The normal black one that you see, most of the time, by the time you finish, it has turned down there, and then even though you've put it there, it's not doing any work. And that may cost you, let's say, 600 cedis, you can just get all those stuff. But if you are using the very good ones, you may end up spending, let's say, 8,000, 10,000 to treat that damp. So they are very thick stuffs. Plastic is plastic, so very, very thick. Water will never seep through. So if you are able to treat the foundation very well, when you put the building on it, even though the place is waterlogged, you not see the damp. So it's basically water that is coming. There are yet still some places that are dry, but you still see those damp stuffs. Most of the time, if the room is close to the bathroom, or you can even see it in the kitchen. When you see something like that, it is plumbing issue. That is why, like from the beginning of the presentation, I made mention of pressure pipe and then the normal pipe. The normal pipe, with time, it may break, or maybe during the construction stage, it may also crack in there. So when water is passing through, to be the block will be soaking the water. Block once you put water on block, it will soak it, so it will start soaking it. So first, the foundation must be damp proof, and also the plumbing must be done very well. Don't worry, you see, this is a building we are going to stay in for a very long time. So spending on it to get, especially the structure, the plumbing is necessary, the foundation is very, very necessary. So once you do those things at the initial stage, you will not have issues with that water stuff. And treating it is very, very difficult. Treating damp is very, very difficult. You realize a lot of people advertising, when they treat it, it won't come again. But when you treat it, you'll find its way with time. You'll find its way and come. Then you notice that the money that you are spending to be treating it could have been less of it could have been used to work on the foundation, and then you get what you want.
Okay, so a follow-up question. With what you are saying with the dump, wouldn't it also be prudent or advantageous to use waterproof cement if that's also an option?
Well, the waterproof cement may not be able to hold it for a long time. It will pass through. It will pass through with experience, with what I have observed and done. If anyone is familiar with Tetegu is a waterlogged area, but we put a project there. We reinforce in fact, the excavation down. We put the rubber, the DPM there, and then we cast the concrete. Then before we did the oversight concrete, we still put it, and then we are not having issue. But we did a fence wall, which we use waterproof, because the DPM is the one we got was very expensive. So we decided to use just normal, let's say, waterproof cement to do fence wall. But with time, we realized that it is rising up the block way. You see, the concrete is not coming all the way up to the ground level. The concrete is ending somewhere just about 6 inches or 9 inches down there. Then the block work will continue coming, but the block work is not done with waterproof cement or waterproof material. So the sideways, once the earth is meeting it with the water, it will just rise up. So the waterproof may not work.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, all right. So thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
We will upload it on our YouTube page. You can subscribe. If you have any further questions, you can ask questions, then we can answer it. And we will be glad to see you during our next presentation. Happy Independence Day to everyone.
I'm also grateful for your submission, and then thank you very much.
You.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This has been insightful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. So, bonjour, everyone.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.